I never thought being kind could make someone hate me. My name is Sarah Chin, and my story begins with an act of kindness that changed everything. Growing up, I was the family disappointment. Not because I did anything wrong, but because, according to my parents, I wasn't ambitious enough. While my sister Jessica graduated from law school and my brother Michael became a successful surgeon, I chose to work at a small animal shelter. "What a waste," Mom would say during family dinners. "With your grades, you could have been something." Dad wouldn't even look at me. "At least your siblings make us proud." But Aunt Linda saw me differently. She was the black sheep of the family, a wealthy, independent businesswoman who never married or had children. While my parents looked down on my work, Aunt Linda understood. "Kindness is rare in this world, Sarah," she told me during our weekly coffee dates. "Never let anyone make you feel small for having a big heart." What I didn't realize then was that Aunt Linda was watching closely. She saw how Jessica and Michael received expensive gifts and endless praise, while I got criticism and hand-me-downs. She noticed how I still showed up to every family event, helped with every crisis, and never complained. Then everything changed. I was cleaning kennels at the shelter when I got the call. Aunt Linda had collapsed at her office. By the time I reached the hospital, she was gone, taken by a sudden heart attack. The funeral was somber, but I noticed something odd. While my family shed tears, they kept glancing at Aunt Linda's lawyer, Mr. Thompson. When he announced there would be a will reading the next day, my parents practically tripped over themselves to make sure everyone attended. The following morning, we gathered in Mr. Thompson's office. My parents sat front and center, Jessica and Michael flanking them like royal guards. I took a quiet seat in the back, still heavy with grief. "Before we begin," Mr. Thompson said, adjusting his glasses, "Linda left a video message." The screen flickered to life. Aunt Linda appeared, looking directly at us. "If you're watching this, I'm gone. But I've watched long enough to know who deserves my legacy." My family leaned forward eagerly. "I've seen who shows genuine kindness and who only wears it like a mask. I've seen who values money over love, and who gives love without expecting anything in return." She smiled softly. "That's why I'm leaving my entire estate, my company, properties, and assets, to my niece, Sarah." The room exploded. "What?" Mom shrieked. "This can't be legal." Jessica jumped up. "She works at a shelter." Michael protested. "She doesn't know anything about running a business." But Aunt Linda wasn't finished. "Sarah has something money can't buy, a genuine heart. The rest of you, you've shown your true colors over the years." The video ended. Mr. Thompson cleared his throat. "The estate is valued at approximately $889 million. All legal documentation is in order." I sat frozen as my family turned toward me with faces that could freeze fire. "You manipulated her," Mom hissed. "You must have tricked her somehow," Jessica snapped. "No daughter of mine would steal from her siblings." Dad roared. "I didn't," I began, but Michael cut me off. "Then prove it. Sign it over to us. We're the ones who deserve it." When I didn't immediately agree, chaos broke loose. They screamed, threatened, and finally delivered their ultimatum. "Either you sign over the inheritance," Dad declared, "or you're no longer part of this family." I looked at each of them, people I had loved my whole life despite their cruelty. Aunt Linda's words echoed in my mind. "Never let anyone make you feel small for having a big heart." I stood tall. "Then I guess I'm not part of this family anymore." That night I packed my belongings. They hurled insults and threats as I walked out the door. Mom's final words rang behind me. "You'll come crawling back when you realize you can't handle this responsibility." But little did they know, Aunt Linda had been preparing me for years. Those weekly coffee dates weren't just chats. They were lessons in business, finance, and leadership. She had seen my potential when no one else had. In my hotel room that night, Mr. Thompson handed me a letter Aunt Linda had left. "Dear Sarah, if you're reading this, they've shown their true colors. Don't let their darkness dim your light. I've left you everything because I know you'll use it to make the world better. It's time to spread your wings, little bird. Show them what kindness combined with power can do." Tears filled my eyes, but determination burned stronger. I made a promise to myself and to Aunt Linda. I would prove that kindness was not weakness. The next 3 months were a whirlwind. While my family assumed I was struggling, I was building something extraordinary. With Mr. Thompson's guidance, I expanded the charitable division of Aunt Linda's company, Phoenix Enterprises, into a groundbreaking network of high-tech animal hospitals, providing free care to low-income families. By day I ran board meetings and made bold decisions. By night I studied financial reports and business strategies until my eyes burned. And every weekend I still volunteered at shelters. But now I could do more than clean kennels. I funded renovations, paid for treatments, and created programs to help struggling families keep their pets. When our first hospital opened, the media took notice. Shelter worker turned CEO revolutionizes pet care became national headlines. I was invited to morning shows speaking about our mission and vision. And that's how my family discovered what I had been up to. I was live on Good Morning America, dressed in a tailored suit, speaking with confidence about combining business success with compassion, when my phone buzzed nonstop with texts. Mom, sweetheart, we should talk. Jessica, you look amazing. Coffee soon? Michael, hey sis, remember when we were close? Dad, I always knew you had it in you. I ignored them all. 2 days later they showed up at my office. Security called me immediately. Aunt Linda had warned me this might happen. Should we send them away, Miss Chin? My assistant asked. I hesitated for a moment, then shook my head. No. Send them up. When my family walked into my office, their jaws dropped. The top floor of a gleaming skyscraper with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city was a far cry from the person they once dismissed. Awards and press coverage lined the walls, and a framed photo of Aunt Linda and me sat prominently on my desk. Sarah, Mom began, tears brimming in her eyes, we've been so worried. Have you? I asked, keeping my voice calm. Or did you just see me on TV and realize you made a mistake? We were wrong, Dad admitted, shifting uncomfortably in his tailored suit. We should have supported you. Jessica stepped forward quickly. We're family. Family sticks together. I laughed bitterly. Family? You kicked me out. You called me a thief. You told me I'd never amount to anything. We were shocked, Michael argued. You can't blame us for being surprised. Surprised. I stood, my hands flat on the desk. You weren't surprised, you were greedy. You couldn't stand the thought that someone you looked down on might actually succeed. That's not fair, Mom protested. Fair. I lifted a folder from my desk. Like how you're trying to contest Aunt Linda's will. Yes, Mr. Thompson told me. They lowered their eyes, shame flickering across their faces. I've done more in 3 months than you believed I could do in a lifetime, I continued. Not because of the money, but because someone believed in me. Aunt Linda saw what you never did. We see it now, Dad said quietly. Too late. I pressed the intercom. Security will escort you out. Don't try to contact me again. As they were led away, I heard Mom crying. A part of me ached, they were still my family. But Aunt Linda's words rang in my ears. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is walk away. The next few years transformed Phoenix Enterprises. We expanded globally, opening animal hospitals in underserved communities around the world. I launched scholarships for veterinary students willing to serve low-income areas. The small shelter where I once worked became our flagship training center. My family tried reaching out again and again. Christmas cards, birthday gifts, even a tearful video message about how proud they were of me. I sent everything back unopened. Then 5 years after Aunt Linda's inheritance, everything changed again. The shelter where I first began was on fire. I rushed to the scene, standing in the rain as firefighters battled the blaze. Through the smoke and chaos I spotted familiar faces. My family. Covered in soot, they had been helping evacuate the animals. We volunteer here now, Jessica explained when she saw me. We have been for 2 years. We wanted to understand what you saw in this place. Michael nodded, his face streaked with ash. These animals, they love unconditionally. Like you always did. Mom stepped forward, cradling a trembling rescue dog. We were wrong, Sarah. Not just about the money, about everything. For the first time in 5 years I really looked at them. They had changed. There was humility in their eyes, dirt under their manicured nails, and genuine concern for the lives they were saving. The shelter will need to be rebuilt, I said at last. We'll help, Dad promised. However we can. I thought of Aunt Linda. About kindness and second chances. There's a lot of work to do, I said slowly. Are you sure you're ready for that? They nodded. And this time I believed them. Together we rebuilt the shelter, bigger and better than before. It wasn't easy, Years of hurt don't heal overnight. But slowly, through shared work and genuine effort, we built something new. A family bond not based on money or status, but on something Aunt Linda always valued: actions over words. Today, Phoenix Enterprises is more than just a company. It's a testament to what happens when kindness meets opportunity. My family works alongside me now, not as entitled relatives but as people who had to earn their place. On my desk, beside Aunt Linda's photograph, sits a new picture. All of us at the shelter's reopening, surrounded by the animals we saved. It's a daily reminder that the greatest inheritances aren't measured in money, but in the lessons that transform us. Aunt Linda was right. Kindness isn't weakness. It's the strength to change the world, one heart at a time.